Good morning, everybody. It is great to be here. Welcome. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I had a great weekend. Um, just want to talk about a little bit about expectations a little bit here, and then just and actually let's skip expectations. Let's go to VIX. So here we are. Market's not really moving much, and the VIX is up. Well, the reason why the VIX is up is because of something called weekend effect. So what is the weekend effect? So this is where kind of the option pricing model doesn't always work. Because remember, the option pricing model does not always work. And the reason being is that the option price model assumes we have constant decay. So that means that options are decaying on after the bell, they're decaying on Saturdays and on Sundays. Well, guess what? We trade on Saturdays and Sundays or at night for options to decay. So what you'll see is when you come in the morning, volatility is a little higher, and as the day progresses, the VIX will back off. If the market's unchanged or, if volatility is unchanged, you'll see in the morning the VIX is up or a little elevated and then comes off as the day progresses. We see a really more clear version of that on the weekend. So going into a chunk of Saturday and Sunday, right? Because really all you're dealing with is what I would like to call a wake up, right? There's some inherent risk in the overnight that holds volatility higher. I call that wake up risk, right? What's going to happen between when you go to bed and when you wake up? And a weekend, you have just kind of a bigger wake up period, right? There's really 2 days for something to go wrong, but that doesn't mean that it's worth a full 2 days of decay. It's worth about, a little more than half a day probably. So what you'll see is that on Thursday and Friday, all things being equal, the VIX will kind of come off, and then you'll come in Monday morning and the VIX will up. Generally speaking, that effect is worth about a point. So on between Thursday and Friday, the VIX will lose, all things being equal, that's important, about 1 point, and then coming in on Monday, the VIX will be up between 0.8 and 1 points, and then as the day progresses, the week progresses, that comes out. So you have this constant picking up a point on Monday and then it slowly burning off throughout the week, and that's what drives the VIX. This Wednesday, don't forget, is my butterfly webinar. That's at 9 o'clock Eastern time. I'm be covering how I trade butterflies right now. That's going to be, or really on Wednesday. It's going to be totally worth the time, and it'll be a lot of fun. Go to optionpit.com/BFLY to register. And you got questions, you can email me, mark@optionpit.com, or call me at 88-TRADE-01. Have a good one.